Yo, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Kelvin with BTB. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to all the new subscribers out there, and appreciate y'all checking us out. Shout out to the other guys in the group, man. Y'all check out JB, Rashad videos, Kobe Bryant Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. Check out their pages, and appreciate y'all checking us out, man. All right, so I'm gonna talk about this real quick. Uh, Isiah Thomas is in the news. He was on the show, and Reggie Miller asked him, his top four point guards, the Mount Rushmore point guards, and he left Steph Curry off. Isiah Thomas, he said his Mount Rushmore was Magic, Oscar, himself, and John Stockton. Four great names, four great point guards. Hey, that's his opinion. That's cool. I see some of the older guys around my age, slighting Steph Curry a little bit, and I'm gonna have to give a little pushback. Now, I'm an older guy myself. I'm in my 40s, and I grew up with Isiah Thomas. I seen Isiah Thomas. I seen Steph Curry. I seen Magic. Of course, I didn't see the Oscar. I ain't that old, but and I'm hearing the pushback, and I'm gonna have to disagree. Uh, I do believe Steph Curry is a Mount Rushmore point guard. I've had my criticism of him, and I believe I've been very fair with Steph Curry. My only criticism of Steph Curry are the 3 years that he played with Kevin Durant. And because of those 3 years and those two championships, I don't put him in my top 10. But I still do believe he's a Mount Rushmore point guard, and I have him in my top 15. I still believe he's great. He's that great. And I believe that a lot of the older fans are slighting Steph Curry a little bit. And, I normally ride with the older generation and stuff like that. These new cats, they be BS and they not really with that, and I get it. But, nah, man, Steph Curry is a Mount Rushmore point guard. Um, this whole thing with him playing with Kevin Durant and people are dropping him way too far, and I don't agree with that. Okay, let's go back, man, because 2000. Let's talk about the championship run. 2015. This is where people try to criticize. It ain't his fault that Kyrie Irving got hurt at the end of that game one, and Kevin Love was hurt. He can only play whoever's in front of him. Okay, Kyrie Irving got hurt. Okay, and then people try to take away from him that Andre Iguodala won the Finals MVP. And see, Steph Curry and this whole thing with the game two with Deladova also. People try to say, oh, he played bad, he got locked up by Deladova. He had one bad game in the 2015 finals. One. The rest of the series he played well. And it's very, very debatable whether Andre Iguodala should have won that finals MVP. I probably still would have gave it to Steph. I understand why they gave it to Iguodala. It's not only because the so-called defense on LeBron, getting LeBron to drop his field goal percentage to 39% or whatever. But Andre Iguodala did hit some big shots here and there during that series. But let's go back and look at it. When the series was tied at 2-2 in Game 5 in 2015, the most important game, Steph Curry showed up and showed out, and he was the best player on the court. He had, I believe, 37 points that game. Let's look at it real quick. The most important game of the series in the finals, Steph Curry, 37 points, 7 boards, 4 assists. Iguodala had 14 points, 7 assists, 8 boards. And there was no debate who was the best player. And there's still no debate who was the best player on that team, that championship team. Okay, 2016, people try to slight them because they lost in the finals. First off, let's go back to OKC series. They was down 3-1, in the three most important games of that series to save their season, he showed up. And keep in mind, Steph Curry was injured. He wasn't at 100%. I know he had the big game against Portland, that playoffs, but he was about 75, 80%. Excuse me. And in the three most important games of that series, he showed up. Let's look at it. I'm going to go real quick. 2016, Golden State. Let's look at the conference final. Game 5, down 3-1. When his team had to have him, he only about 75, 80%. Steph Curry, 31 points, 6 assists, 7 boards, 5 steals. Game 6, back in OKC. Now, this is what get lost because Klay Thompson had the best game of his life. And props to Klay Thompson for that game. But Steph Curry also played well that game. Let's look at it. Let's look real quick. Steph Curry, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Game 6 in OKC. Game 7, 36 points. Season on the line. Best player on the court, 36 points, 8 assists, 5 boards, 7 out of 12 for 3-point. So in the three most important games, he showed up. Now, in the finals, I get it. He did not play well overall, but this is what I don't like. This whole revisionist thing. And, he had to have Kevin Durant in order to beat LeBron or whatever. I do not agree with that. I'm just going to go back to that season with the healthy Kyrie Irving and a healthy Kevin Love and LeBron James and the first 4 games of that finals. The Warriors walked the Cavs, beat the living shit out of them. The Cavs won 1 game. That's game 3. 1. And the series changed when Draymond Green got suspended. And the most important thing that people don't talk about, get lost in history, is the Andrew Bogut injury. They lost their rim protector. And Steph wasn't 100%. And Iguodala wasn't 100% that series. All of that, Kyrie Irving played spectacular. He was killing it. LeBron put up his numbers. They did all of that. Steph played bad. Klay didn't play that well. And the Cavs barely snuck out that series. So you can't tell me, and also Harrison Barnes played terrible also. I forgot about that. So you can't tell me, I'm sorry, I just don't agree. If the Warriors bring that same team back, I don't know what they're going to do with the Harrison Barnes situation. They bring that same team back, they make it back to the finals, and they play the Cavs, and everybody's healthy. Even with Bogut, if they bring Bogut, I think Bogut got traded to the Mavericks the next. If they have Bogut, I'm sorry, they're going to dog walk and beat the living shit out of the Cavs like they did all the previous games before the injuries and the suspension. I'm sorry. You're not going to convince me otherwise. LeBron and Kyrie played the absolute best they can play in 2016, and they barely won that series. Now, see, this is why I do penalize Steph. This is why he's not in the top 10, because when he lost that finals of 2016, he got in his feelings. Him, Draymond, and Klay, they was hurt because they had a great regular season, and they got in their feelings and went and recruited Kevin Durant, and then Kevin Durant decided to join them. So I don't give him no credit for those 2 titles. I don't. But he doubted himself. He had it in him all along. We seen it in 2022 when they won the championship. So that's the only reason why I don't have him in the top 10, because of those 3 years there. And this whole thing with Kevin Durant, that shouldn't even be a debate. I don't care nothing about, his 7 foot and his skills and all of those type shit, and who would you pick in Rucker Park, who the better player, or Venice Beach. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit. They playing the NBA, and they playing organized basketball, and they playing on a team. And the evidence shows that in the team environment, who has had the better career and who has carried their team farther? And it's been Steph Curry. It's not even a debate. He won a championship before and after Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant ain't won shit except them years in Golden State. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So all his skills and 7 foot and he can shoot threes and he 3 level and all that means nothing when they don't put it to work in a team format and able to propel your team forward to championships. You see, in 2022, we seen it. Kevin Durant with Kyrie Irving, both of them, they both get all this praise for skills and all that old type shit. Kyrie with his ball handling and Kevin Durant with his ball handling and shooting, whatever. We seen what Kevin Durant did against the Celtics. He got his ass locked the fuck up and swept. Swept. Steph Curry on the Warriors, and they didn't have some hellified team. You know, Andrew Wiggins played well. Klay Thompson, it was kind of here and there. And Draymond played like dog shit in the finals. Steph Curry against that same Celtics team, and make no mistake about it, the Celtics were a more talented team. Steph Curry beat that same Celtics team that locked up Kevin Durant, and they won the championship. You see, this Isiah Thomas shit, I'm gonna get to him also. You know, and I think Steph Curry better than Isiah Thomas also, because if you take Steph Curry off the 2022 Warriors and you insert prime Isiah Thomas, any version, Isiah Thomas is not going to Boston Garden and dropping 40. He just not. We can talk about this pure point guard. Isiah had to facilitate, and Steph Curry, he not a real point guard, and Draymond and all that bullshit. I don't want to hear that, bro. I understand it, but I don't want to hear it. Who does what in a team environment, okay? And Steph Curry, to me, has done more, way more than Kevin Durant. And to me, he's a better player than Isiah Thomas. I seen Isiah. Let's get to Isiah. This bitch ass nigga, he always running his mouth. Okay. In that little clip, he says, far as a little guy, nobody did what I did, referring to him beating Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. And see, over the course of time, that shit is been blown out of proportion. I fell for it too all these years. But this nigga been running his mouth. I went back and researched a lot of Isiah Thomas and really looked at it. I went back and watched those games. And it wasn't until the Lakers were old and injured, the Celtics were old and injured, and then Michael Jordan was by himself in them early years, before the championship years, that Isiah snuck those 2 championships. He happened to be in the right place at the right time to win. He's an all-time great, but I'm going to say this also. Nobody has underachieved more with a bunch of talent more than Isiah Thomas. The only other person is LeBron James. LeBron James is number 1. Isiah is number 2. Isiah Thomas, do people realize the year he got drafted, his rookie year, he played with an all-star and he missed the damn playoffs? Go look up Kelly Tripucka, a very underrated player, great scorer during that time. Isiah Thomas' first 2 years, he missed the playoffs, and he played with an all-star. Do people not realize that Bill Laimbeer, while he was a dirty player and a thug, he could play? Do people realize that Bill Laimbeer made the All-Star team 4 times? He led the league in rebounding once, and he was always in the top of the league in rebound. Do people realize he played with Isiah Thomas played with John Long, who's very underrated? 1 year gave him 20 points a game. And during that time period, he was giving about 16 to 18 points. Very underrated player during that time. And let's not forget, he played with Vinnie Johnson, one of the greatest six-mans of all time. All this talent. He played with Dan Roundfield, who was an all-defensive player. Now, he was a little bit older when Isiah played with him, but still. He played with him also. And all this talent Isiah Thomas played with early in his career, and he didn't do shit. He had a Game 5 on his home court against the Knicks that he lost. When Bernard King dropped 42 a game, he took the Pistons nuts, squeezed it, and flushed the juice down the damn toilet on their ass. And beat their ass on their home court. Do people not realize that? Oh, yeah, y'all need to do some more research. I know. You realize there's been playoff series where Isiah Thomas has played with two 20-point per game scorers, and he lost, like he did to the Atlanta Hawks, I believe, in '86. He had two teammates give him over 20 again. Let me look it up. I believe it was 1986. Let me look. Oh, yeah, man. This nigga Isiah played with some talent, man. Nobody's played with more talent and underachieved than Isiah Thomas and LeBron James. Oh, yeah. 1986, Isiah Thomas. Let's look at it in the playoffs. They played the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks had a good team. Oh, yeah. Isiah Thomas, he had a great series. He averaged 26 and 12. But Bill Laimbeer, that series averaged 23 points, 14 rebounds. Kelly Tripucka averaged 22 points a game. Joe Dumars averaged 15 points a game. He had Vinnie Johnson averaged 13 points a game. He had Earl Cureton give him 9 points, 7 boards. And they lost the series. All this talent Isiah Thomas played with, and he underachieved. But you gonna tell me he better than Steph Curry? Michael Jordan didn't get to play with that much talent. Even Steph. Oh, okay, he played with Kevin Durant a couple years. He ain't played with talent like that in one playoff series. You see, also, Isiah Thomas played with, let's go through all the All-Stars and Hall of Famers real quick. Kelly Tripucka, 2-time All-Star. Bill Laimbeer, a 4-time All-Star. He played with Vinnie the Microwave Johnson, one of the greatest six-mans of all time. He played with Dan Roundfield 1 year, who was an all-defensive player. He wasn't that year, but he was a really good defensive player. He played with John Long, who was very underrated. Really good scorer during that time, get you 16 to 18. 1 year, give you 20 points a game. He played with Joe Dumars, who's in the Hall of Fame. He played with Dennis Rodman, who's in the Hall of Fame, the top 75. And oh yeah, he played with prime Dennis Rodman, who won Defensive Player of the Year twice, in 90 and 92, I believe. And the man that gets lost in history, and the man who really put the Pistons over the hump during that time, not Isiah Thomas, Adrian Dantley, that they traded for in '87. He's the guy that really put them over the hump. He's in the Hall of Fame, great scorer. You see what I'm saying? All this goddamn talent Isiah played with, and you didn't win nothing until the Celtics got old, Lakers got old, and the Bulls were young, and you want to run your mouth talking about Magic, Bird, and Jordan? Nah, bro. 1987, Pistons had a better team than the Celtics in the conference finals. Isiah Thomas in Game 5 threw the game away. We know the steal by Bird. He choked that game away. Game 7 was a close game. Adrian Danley was killing it. Adrian Danley got hurt, got a concussion. He couldn't play the rest of the game. Isiah was there, game for the taking. Joe Dumars dropped 30-some points that game. Isiah Thomas began to piss on himself and play like dog shit for the rest of that game, and they lost in Game 7. And they were a much better team than the Celtics. The Celtics, Larry Bird had to play all 48 minutes. He had no bench. Kevin McHale was hurt. Robert Parrish was hurt. Danny Ainge missed the first 2 games of that year, and they lost. Pistons finally beat the Celtics in '88 when they were old and injured. Parrish was hurt. Dennis Johnson was hurt. Bird was dealing with early stuff with his back and stuff and his foot and all that. You know, they get to the finals. They lose. Game 6 was legendary, where they lost. '89, Byron Scott get hurt before the series started. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is 42 years old. And Magic get hurt in Game 2. And in Game 2, the Lakers were actually winning when Magic got hurt. And then let's go to Michael Jordan. You know, he loved to talk about beating Michael Jordan. Oh, man, I beat Michael Jordan when he was at his peak. No, the Chicago Bulls were not at their peak. Michael Jordan was just individually great. He was carrying a bunch of pig slop at that point. In '88, they won 50 games. If you watch that team wasn't that good. And the Pistons beat them as they should have. In '89, Michael Jordan carried a below-average roster to the conference finals, one of the great carry jobs of all time. And Isiah can talk all that shit he want, but Michael Jordan put the fear of God in his life. Michael Jordan had a pig slop ass roster, 2 wins from the finals. Oh, I know. I got all the games of that playoff run. I know how average that roster was with the Bulls and how much better the Pistons were. And you can talk all that shit you want, Isiah, but nigga, after that Game 3, when Jordan hit that game-winning shot, he put the fear in God in you so bad that you and Joe Dumars had to go out to a lake at 2 o'clock in the morning and pray to God. How do we stop this dude, man? This dude this is our best team. He finna take it away by himself, man. Yeah, I seen that documentary. Yeah. And then in 1990 was the first year Jordan had a little help. Pippen was an all-star. And y'all barely won that series. In 7 games, Pippen with the migraine. And then the following year when Pippen got right and everything was, Michael Jordan just got the minimum amount of help he needed. He dog walked the shit out the Pistons, beat the living hell out of them, swept them so bad that they couldn't stand up. Isiah was such a coward, he didn't even want to shake Michael Jordan's hand. That's how bad he beat the dog shit out of Isiah. So I don't want to hear this Isiah Thomas shit, this Magic Bird Jordan shit. That shit is overblown and overrated, in my opinion. And I seen Isiah Thomas play. He's an all-time great. Sorry. Give me Steph Curry. You can't put Isiah Thomas on that 2021 Warriors team where Steph Curry carried one of the worst offensive rated teams to an A seed. I seen a stat where that 2021 team, the year before they won the championship, Clay wasn't there. When Steph Curry was off the floor, they were one of the top 10 worst offensive rated teams of all time. I used to watch a lot of those Warriors games. And Steph Curry carried them to an AFC. Now, yeah, they lost to the Memphis or whatever, but that was one of the great carry jobs of all time. He led the league in score. I give Steph Curry credit for that. I'm the opposite of, I heard Two Raw and some other guy how they felt. No. I watched a lot of those Warriors that year, and that was a bad team. One of the top 10 worst offensive rated teams with Steph Curry off the floor, and he carried them to 39 wins. Now, I believe that year was a 72-game season, so I'm not sure how that would equate to an 82-game season, maybe like about 45 wins or something. That is a hell of a job for a very poor roster. Isiah Thomas ain't doing that. Isiah Thomas ain't doing what Steph did in 2022. I'm sorry, he not. I seen the nigga play. Not sorry. He not. He just not. And then the Kevin Durant talk, that shit is dead, bruh. Even when Kevin Durant played with Steph, when Kevin Durant was hurt, the Warriors still had a winning record. They had a better winning record with Kevin Durant not there. Go watch my old videos of Uncut Hoop. Salute to you, bro. He showed the stats. It's not even debate, bro. I don't care nothing about the Venice Beach shit, skill shit. How you perform in the team concept and how you able to carry the team. Steph Curry has demolished Kevin Durant, man. What are we even talking about, bro? What are we talking about? And Isiah Thomas, I'm sorry. Steph Curry better than Isiah Thomas. Isiah not doing what Steph did in 2021 or 2022. He not. And Isiah didn't win shit until he got the fucking stacked all-time teams. And all y'all forgot about Mark Aguirre he played with. He got Adrian Dantley traded. Mark Aguirre is a borderline Hall of Famer. I grew up watching Mark Aguirre. He was a multiple-time All-Star, averaging 25-plus points a game. 1 year he averaged almost 30. They traded for Mark Aguirre, and Mark Aguirre was coming off the bench, giving them like 15, 16 a game. You see how the talent Isiah played with, and they barely snuck out 2 titles when everybody got old and the Chicago Bulls were young. Michael Jordan by himself. Get the fuck out of here with Isiah, man. Still great, all-time great. Nah, bro. Steph Curry better, bro. I'm an older guy. I'm riding with Steph Curry on that. I just don't have Steph in the top 10, but he top 15. You know, some of the younger dudes talking about top 5 and all that. Nah, that's too much. That's top 15. I believe is fair. Oh yeah, Steph got 2 MVPs. Isiah Thomas ain't got no fucking MVPs. You could talk about, well, he scaled his game back. Play within the team. So they can win champs. Very true. Very true. He did do that, but even early in his career, when he was scoring more points and more assists or whatever, it wasn't translating into shit. They were losing. And he had help. I just read you some stats that Isiah played with teammates. All-star teammates, great 6-man. Even when he had to score more, like Steph, it didn't translate into shit. They were losing. It wasn't until they traded and got Adrian Dantley that they started taking that next step forward. And they added Rick Mahorn and John Sally off the bench, James Edwards, great role players and stuff like that. So Isiah Thomas, for him to win, everything had to fall right. Then he had to have all this fucking help, to win. He did. So, I'm sorry, bro. I just had to put I know it's been a little long video, but I had to put my 2 cents in. Steph Curry is a Mount Rushmore point guard. I got Magic, Oscar Robertson, Steph Curry, number 3. Number 4, if you want to put Isiah up there, whatever, that's cool, or whoever, But the whole thing with Isiah, the whole Magic, Bird, Jordan beating them. Oh, yeah, and then when he beat the Celtics in 89, also the Pistons, Larry Bird didn't even play. He was out for the season. He had a foot injury. Bone spurs or something. So, Isiah ain't never beat no great teams when they was at their peak. The fuck out of here. The Lakers wasn't at their peak. The Celtics wasn't at their peak. And the Bulls wasn't at their peak. He snuck in on a few years where everything just happened to fall right for him. And that's how they won. I ain't taking them away from them. They won at fair and square, but it is what it is, man. Isiah Thomas ain't doing some of the shit Steph Curry did. He just not. You can talk about he can be a better facilitator, he a more pure point guard. Okay, cool. But what do you do in the game, the team concept, as far as carrying the team forward? Able to carry your team. Yeah, Isiah won in 1990, got Finals MVP. Okay, cool. Still, you're not doing the stuff Steph was doing, bro. I'm sorry, just not. He's just not. Not in my opinion. So, anyway, man, video been long enough, man. Salute to y'all, man. Just want to give my thoughts. I'm out. I'll catch y'all on the next one.